So we're going now.
We're live, and I can just feel the calm between us with this beautiful fern.
It's very namaste, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it hasn't grown.
I had that haircut actually for a while. But when my dad was cutting my hair, you know, my dad had a pair of clippers.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and he did our haircuts for quite a long time.
You could pull that off, actually.
That was a good look.
Yeah.
So how was your week, man? Did you have a good week?
Good week, yeah. We had a late hockey game last night. I'm dragging this morning.
Oh man.
So we start at 9:45.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it finishes at about 10:45. And by the time, you know, you shower and get out of there, it's 11:15.
Where do you do this? Where's
over in Ralston.
Okay.
And on the gold team. Shameless plug.
What is the league and what's the league? The
name of the league is the Beer and Pretzel Hockey League.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, as the name implies, it's just for fun. But there's some really good players.
I'll bet there are, yeah.
And as long as one guy on my team that continues to play, I'll continue to play because he's like 6 months older than me.
No kidding.
The rest of the league is like in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. It's a young, fast, but it's fun. Great group of guys.
And so the league then has multiple teams?
Yeah, there's 6 teams.
Six teams? And you're the gold team?
And we're the gold team.
Okay.
And it's just fun. And it's good dudes.
So the guy older than you, he's doing well?
Yeah, he's doing great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Good players. I mean, everybody grew up playing, but for the most part, like a lot of UNO Mavericks, which is the D1 program here in town, they put roots down, and we, you know, as people in business, want to encourage them to stay in Omaha, start families, and you know, the ones that don't get drafted. The UNO hockey players and the community really support these kids and help them get connections and get plugged into the community. And you know, they're competitors like you. They just want to keep doing something.
Absolutely. Well, if they were raised playing that sport, they don't want to give it up. And
so this is the natural league for them. But each year it gets younger and faster. It's just it's crazy how good these players are.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
But how do they treat grown men?
Oh yeah.
They're not checking you into the boards and killing you. No checking.
There's no fighting. It's in fact, most of the guys don't really even play to their full potential.
Yeah.
It's just a good workout. Now, when we play against there's a couple of teams that are salted with some really, you know, ex-Lancers, ex-college. There's even some pros that now play here in Omaha. So they dial it up, but they realize when they see me, I'm a pylon. You know, it's just like they kind of go, "Come on, really?"
Passing between your feet and all that kind of embarrassing stuff. So at the end of this morning, what hurts? What do you feel like in the morning after?
I just don't really hurt anymore at all. I think a lot to I owe to that to the cold plunge. Because like last night was brutal, but I got home, did the cold plunge for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And, you know, you just sleep like a baby.
No kidding.
No pain, no issues. Worked out this morning just to get the blood flowing. And then, I feel fine. But, you know, you can kind of tell you're peaking at some fatigue that's starting to set in earlier than it typically
so
does.
By later this afternoon or early evening, you'll be fatigued. Yeah. Comfortably fatigued, though, not miserable.
Yeah. No, just tired.
I love that feeling. I love that post-work, somewhat comfortable fatigue.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, love that. So, I mean, but, you know, you drag a little bit. Try not to overstimulate with caffeine, but had a ton of water this morning, so maybe running here and there.
So that's what you did this morning. Yeah. We kind of focus a lot on morning routine, but after something like that, you didn't get to bed until 11:30 or 12.
You're exactly right. Your heart's racing.
Yeah, it's hard to come down from that.
So I just sit there and read on my Kindle. I just read some books or something. Try and bring it down. It's funny. You just look at the heart rate because it kind of steadily goes up during the game, and then it's just this, you know, because you know you'll skate hard for 30 seconds to a minute.
It's bursts.
Yeah, and then so it's HIIT, you know, high intensity interval training. And then after the game, it kind of does this and then starts to to tailor down, but still, you know, it's 11:45 midnight and it's still clicking along at 90. You know, 85 starts to go down, and then it drops significantly. Okay. But my God, you know.
But I think we mentioned your resting pulse is in the 50s.
Yeah, low 50s, upper 40s sometimes. So yeah, wow. So I mean, I think that's probably good. But yeah, it's a couple times a week, and I think for most people, if they do one of those workouts, from what I've read, but what do I know, right? It's good for you.
But you're feeling good.
Yeah, feel great. Yeah.
And you think that cold plunge at the end of this is contributing to that good euphoric feeling?
Yeah, I just, you know, your knees and your hips and, you know, your quads were kind of burning after a workout like that. And so put the gear away and then just jump in the plunge. And, you just go right to sleep.
Very cool.
Try to, at least, yeah.
Very cool.
Fun, but how about you? How was your week?
I had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
I have short-term memory issues.
Really?
Too many concussions or something. I don't know exactly what to attribute that to, but when people ask me, how was your week? I have a hard time. I could probably tell you like a month ago, but, you know, for me this week was, I was supposed to be traveling.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Evansville, Indiana to do some training this week.
Really?
And that was right in the path of totality for the eclipse.
Yeah.
So I waited too long, of course, to try to make travel arrangements. So there were no hotels available, no flights that were available for a reasonable price. Yeah. And so unfortunately, I just had to bag my trip. So I stayed in town somewhat unexpectedly. So I met with some clients. I got some things accomplished, but I am
short-term memory though, huh? Interesting.
What is that? What I said?
Short-term.
That's right. Yeah, of course, man. I do. I do seem to be, and maybe it's just because my days are somewhat routine. Maybe it's difficult to remember what yesterday held. You know, but
could be.
I went over to a plant yesterday afternoon, and we'd walked around a little bit. They'd had an accident, so we went and looked at that to see if there was anything that we could do, maybe to.
Yeah, because you're the de facto expert on that stuff, right?
That's what I try to contribute.
Yeah.
We're
that's cool.
So
how do you fit in? I mean, so when you're traveling, what do you do with nutrition? What do you do with workouts?
Man, that is really challenging, isn't it? Because you probably travel as well.
Yeah.
It is, and I am not a runner. I'm not a cardio guy, so I can't go to most hotels that. You know, that aren't the Circle B Motor Lodge in Bankelman will have some kind of a workout facility, and
you can drive to the door at that hotel, right?
Yeah,
right
you are parked right in front of your door, man. And we'll talk about that at some point. It was an interesting stay, but I don't do the cardio stuff. Yeah. So for me, nutrition is easier. I just eat meat. I mean, if I'm on the road and I don't have my own nutritional options, I just eat meat, burger patties, or get a steak or some chicken or something.
Yeah.
I tend to shy away from some of the other stuff. Maybe I'll eat some vegetables if I have access.
Yeah.
Unless I'm, for me, I'm a very all or none guy.
Yeah.
If I am in the groove, then I'm in the groove, and I'm training. I'm at least exercising and eating well. If I happen to throw that switch that, maybe I'll just have a chip, or maybe I'll just have, whatever, something that I normally...
Slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope for me. Yeah.
You'll eat the whole tube.
I do.
Yeah.
Were you referring to Pringles?
I was. You can't,
love Pringles.
Like one serving is a tube, actually.
That's actually what it is. That's right. We talked about that because, like you, I was a bag of Doritos and 2 liters of Pepsi every night of college. And I was in college for a long time, unfortunately.
Those 8 years were tough.
Yeah, they were rough. Yeah, man. But I got a lot of bad nutrition.
Yeah.
So the travel thing is tough,
that's where you pick those habits up.
It is.
And so when you travel and you think, okay, well, I'll just balance this out. And you go to the hotel. For me, I gauge the hotel on whether they have a fitness center.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing when you go to websites how they still don't feature that stuff. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
They show you the conference rooms.
Right.
You go and it's like, here's our amenities, and it's a big conference room.
Yeah, the entryway, the couch in the entryway.
The entryway, and we have a Starbucks, and it's kind of like, well, okay, but I start with, do they have a fitness center?
Right.
And if they don't show a picture, then you just kind of, I better
keep
find
looking.
Another one. Yeah. because it's super important. But then you're so right. I find when I fly, for some reason, I am so hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And the plane lands, and I'm getting off the plane. I'm like, I can't see straight. I'm so hungry.
Right.
That's the danger, because if you don't have something to take the edge off, a protein bar, a protein shake,
right,
then you kind of
start making some bad choices.
And you go by that. What is it? That's in absolutely every airport. Hudson.
Right. Is that the newsstand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
you go in and buy a bag of trail mix or some crap.
Pretzels aren't bad, are they? And then of course there's M&Ms in the pretzels. And
right.
Well, and there's all these nuts.
And then all the rationalization begins, right? And that's an interesting point, man. Preparing yourself to be able to deal with those things. So carrying with you your protein bar of choice, or I use like the Chomp brand of meat sticks. You know those. I carry a bag of Chomp meat sticks or something with me, and if I can do that, if I remember to do that, then I can avoid those. Run to Five Guys and get the triple cheeseburger and fries.
And like beef jerky, I used to be able to eat beef jerky, and then I started getting severe headaches.
All the MSG and stuff was bothering you, probably.
Now, I mean, this is a little bit of a shameless plug, but my son and a friend of his started a thing called Pipeline Jerky.
Really?
And the whole reason behind it was as kind of an NIL program for the University of Nebraska's offensive line.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Big Nebraska football fans, but they were like, everything starts up front. Let's start with the offensive line, and how do we help these guys? And so they started this. It's basically a pork product.
Okay.
And there's no MSG in it,
good.
No soy, and it's, really good.
And where is it available? Where would I find it?
The website.
Is it online?
pipelinejerky.com.
I'm going to try it, man.
I know they have some physical distribution through the state, and it's been a hoot because the O-line has been involved, and they get to they had a sampling of all the products one time. And,
with the offensive lineman?
God, you can only imagine. Man, but nevertheless, I think all of us have that where, I'll just have a handful of, I'll just grab some jerky and drink some water. And then you don't realize, unless you look at the label, what's in this stuff.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't say, like, beef,
right,
and, sodium, and you're like, well, it has to be seasoned.
Yes.
Well, what's in the sodium? It takes so long to figure that stuff out.
It does, man.
So you eat 2 or 3 pieces of it, and then you're like, God, my head is absolutely killing me.
I think that is an MSG or nitrate issue. Some, like, I know that those preserved meats oftentimes have a lot of bad stuff crammed into them.
Yeah, and so I'm interested to look at what is it? Yeah, Chomp.
Chomp is an interesting one. It's a relatively good one that I have kind of gone to, but I'm going to check out the Pipeline. I like that idea.
But it's finding stuff like that, and then you can just throw it in your suitcase, or when you're traveling or you're driving, and we're driving later today up to St. Paul, and I'm already thinking, okay, what are we going to be?
Yeah, what can you bring?
What's in the car? Because I don't want to stop at the truck stop and start because you just start to slide, and I got to be careful because I monitor. Or try and keep right around that 1,800 calories to 2,000 a day, depending on the workouts. And for most people, again, we say it and joke about it a lot, but what do we know? It's just that these are experiences that we've had.
Yeah, what you've actually done, and what
works for us. Yeah,
let's go back to, I think last time we spoke, we established that both of us have been off of our ideal weight at some point in our life.
Off.
You were in the 240s somewhere, and you look marvelous, by the way, now.
Thank you, sir.
And you look a lot like high school. You're probably in that same wheelhouse as high school, are you not?
Yeah, I'm right at where I was my senior year.
Same waist size?
Same
pant size?
Absolutely everything. But I went through,
but you went through
blimpy stage.
Sure. And so what did you have to do in order to make that initial drop? You established a calorie, like a baseline metabolic calorie number or something somehow. What did you cut out? How'd you do it?
I finally realized what would or wouldn't work. A lot of it, like we're talking about with the jerky, for example, if you realize this doesn't work for me, but someone else can eat 5 pounds of it, and it works for them. And so for me, and I think a lot of people might fall into this camp, it's what is the caloric range I have to be in, and then what is made up of those calories. Because you could eat 2,000 calories of Pringles.
It's been done.
I've actually done it.
I was going to say, right. Yes, that's been done.
But then figure out, okay, I realize at the stage of my life, this is probably what's going to work. And that is, you got to be at least a slight deficit. You got to continue to have some sort of workouts per week. And I think I could lose a pound or a pound and a half a month. So something like that doesn't sound so far away.
Not that difficult.
And so you kind of go, well, I mean, I could lose a pound. And
you mentioned
I wanted
something.
to get from, I wanted to get from, I was like 205 or whatever down to 172. That was the goal.
But you mentioned something last time about patience.
Yeah, exactly.
And if your expectation is that I'm going to hit my ideal weight this week, I want to be that by this weekend, that's a really frustrating mindset.
Yeah.
Because I've started doing, we talked about it, I've started doing this apple cider vinegar thing and eating, the different macros in a certain sequence. And it felt really good. I feel good doing that, but I'm not seeing immediate weight. I saw a little bit of weight loss right away. But you have to be patient.
Gotta be patient. Yeah.
I think jumping from strategy to strategy is bad.
Right.
I'm going to try this week, and then, okay, that didn't work quite as well as I wanted, so I'm going to switch. Man, I think, like you said, you just have to get a little bit of, find whatever that baseline calorie intake is, and you just have to go a little bit.
You just got to be right there,
a little bit below it, or stay right there, whatever for maintenance. What, from a macro standpoint, what does a meal look like for you? Are you a big vegetable guy, fruit, just lean protein guy?
Just balance, Yeah,
okay.
I just
You're not really
balance
carnivore extreme or anything?
No, because I just realized for me that wouldn't work. For a lot of people, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And the more we get bombarded through social media and anything about nutrition, it's, become your ideal weight by June 1st, and it's sort of, well, okay, I want to do that. You may lose 20 pounds in 2 months, but you just realize, oh my gosh, that's just not sustainable. So the patience to it, and then the meal, I don't plan out meals, and I know that's frustrating. Again, this works for me. It's just, try and have some protein, a good balance of good carbs, and just no sugar.
What's a good carb?
Like anything that has complex carbohydrates. So like even if it's bread, like Dave's Killer Bread, if you've heard of that.
I have.
I mean, there's the power seed. There's maybe 1 gram of sugar in it. And it's not added sugars. It's just from the actual making of the bread and the natural processes. But you look at ones, if you try and be below 20 grams of sugar a day. I mean, Total, yeah. That's tough to do.
It is tough.
And so I just was like, all right, sugar's my killer. So let's eliminate it. And then realize there are some things that have natural sugars. And so how do you balance that? And so complex carbs, I make a lot of protein smoothies. So, I'll get fruit that way, which I know some people will say, that's not natural. You can't do that. But it's what I add, a good organic protein to it, powder. We've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's filling.
And fruit. And you're not juicing.
No.
You're using all the fiber is still in that blender. You're consuming the fiber from that fruit, which I think is important.
And then try and get to the protein through just natural ways like you. So it's chicken and it's beef.
Are you a fish guy?
Fish, love salmon. Always love salmon. And
can you cook salmon? You cook salmon pretty well?
Oh yeah,
or is your
we
wife
cook it, but not well.
Okay.
By the way, I bought a one of those pans. God, why am I drawing a blank here? On
like the cast iron skillet thing or something?
Skillet. People are like, you got to cook in cast iron. everything I put in there sticks. The thing is just coated in 40 meals that I've had in the thing. Like, I don't know how to clean it.
Why does my steak taste like salmon?
Don't scrub it. Don't put soap in it. And
yeah.
I was like, okay. But anyway, so yeah, so I try different ways. Love to grill salmon. Still not good at it.
Love salmon.
Yeah.
I do not cook salmon well.
Yeah.
Certainly not like the restaurant. And maybe that's because we're cooking it like cleanly. I mean, we're using olive oil or something instead of all of that really tasty, nasty oil that they use at the restaurant or whatever.
Could be. Yeah. I don't know.
But I love salmon.
Love salmon. Mix it in with salad. And I just find that over the last 2.5, 3 years, I've just, your appetite has changed and you're full.
Yeah. If you allow yourself to be full. I'm a fast eater.
Yeah.
So I can cram a lot of food into my body without allowing myself to feel satiated. I don't like wait for that sensation. Like if you ate at a normal pace and you allowed yourself to become full, you wouldn't eat nearly as much, man. Sure. I am cramming. It's like every meal is my last meal, that whatever that weird, And so then I'm like, oh, I feel horrible because I still struggle with that a bit.
But I think, you've mentioned a number of times, just, commit to it and take your time. And the pounds fall off until I think your body regulates. And then finally, to me, I keep trying to lose that next pound or two, but it keeps coming back to this like, wow. 172, and I got down to 169, and
your body thought that was too light,
and my body was like, that's not enough, and I kept saying, no more calories, no more. I was like, no, we got to get back up there. And
Isn't that interesting?
So it stays there, and then I don't eat past say 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, and it's not intermittent fasting. I did try that, I just couldn't stick to it, but I just realized, did a lot of reading on it and understood that, after 9 o'clock, it's kind of important. Your body needs to digest all of that stuff through the night. And when you break the fast, so to speak, maybe 12 hours later, your body's processed everything it needs. So, it works for me.
Did you eat this morning?
Did I eat this morning?
You eat breakfast?
I had a protein bar and a protein drink. Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
So you've had 40 grams of protein already today.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And I feel full. I've had, a couple 12 ounces of water, glasses of water. And I probably will eat maybe around noon. And I'm not starving myself. It's just throughout the day, I'll probably have 400 calorie meals, if you will. So that might be at 11, and then that might be at 2 o'clock. And then 6 o'clock might be 600 to 800 calorie kind of dinner, and then you're there.
That's typically your primary meal is dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually easier to have that that's tradition.
Yeah, and slower.
To have a dinner, with maybe multiple courses. There might be a protein, there might be a vegetable, there might be some starch or something like that. But
so I was just, I was taking some notes on this the other day, but just, I realized that everybody has time to figure this stuff out, but there's so much information. And we need to have some experts on here that help us with that, but just educating yourself and then realizing that's it. Okay. That's the plan. Yeah. Now I'm going to commit to it.
I would agree with that.
And now I'm just going to do it. And, I will vary from it. I'll deviate and there will be problems, but for the most part,
it's manageable. You found something that you can live with and manage. And you've been doing this for years now.
Yeah. This is like the third year.
Third year. You've hit your weight. Yeah. Your body knows right where it wants to be now. Yeah. That 172 is right where your body wants to be.
Yeah.
I know that my body, has a weight that it prefers, whatever that physiology. There is a certain weight that it wants. And I can tell when I'm above that weight. I never go below it. I've never been able to go below that weight,
but you feel it.
But I can feel it.
Do you feel when you go above it? Do you feel sluggish?
Yes. Yeah. I feel it in my energy. I feel it in my joints.
Yep.
My body doesn't feel good. I don't sleep as well when I'm in that.
Isn't that funny?
I probably have apnea when I'm heavier, I'm probably snoring or, I don't know if I'm actually like laboring to breathe or anything, but it knows.
It knows.
My body knows where it wants to be, and I just need to like get out of the way sometimes and allow it to find that level.
I think you're right. I remember, I don't know when this was, but I went to Five Guys with one of my kids, and
I love it.
I had the triple cheeseburger,
Mm-hmm.
and I love what they do with the fries, because there's always bonus fries in the bottom of the bag.
Right. Bonus fries.
You just crushed the whole thing. So it was a Friday. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
All day Saturday, and was beginning to feel a little bit better Sunday.
It's like a hangover.
Like my body was saying, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You've come all this way, and you just did that." I mean, it was enjoyable. It was wonderful. But on the other hand, you kind of realize, okay, that's probably not moderation.
Right.
Right there. That's not going to work.
Do you do do you restrict certain things? Like you've talked about sugar. You don't want to eat a lot of added sugar, high sugar foods. Yeah. So I'm assuming you stay away from the processed sugars like cookies and cakes and pies and all that stuff. Have you ever had like a cheat day kind of a philosophy, or are you trying to stay away from the cheat days?
Yeah, tried it. It wasn't as satisfying as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
It was the more that detriment was on the backside of it, because I just felt crappy and just was sort of angry. Like, why did I do that? God. Enjoyable, birthday cake or, something like that. But what I've just found is I don't want the byproduct of what it kicks in.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. I get it.
And then there's like that period of self-loathing afterwards, where, you get so excited. I used to keep a list at my desk of all the things that I wanted to eat on Saturday. I would allow myself a cheat day on Saturdays, and I'd think about it on Tuesday. Oh, I wish I could have a piece of pizza, and I'd write pizza down on the list. And then come Saturday, I would go destroy myself. I'd go have a couple of apple fritters, and then I'd stop at McDonald's and get a couple of egg muffins, go to the gym, get pizza from Casey's on the way home after the gym, and then, eat like a bag of chips or something, and then feel like crap for 2 days. And, when I was 25, every day was a cheat day, and I never realized I was having that. I was having it. I just didn't feel it. I don't do it anymore because it was, like you were just describing, it was really setting me back. Yeah. I mean, it was more harm than good.
Yeah. Yeah, and we only have so many heartbeats, all of us, and it's like, so I kind of want to maximize them.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point.
But I don't know. I'll never forget, I was going through, when I was 204, I loved McDonald's chocolate shakes.
Oh, yeah, man.
And this is a little embarrassing, but I went to McDonald's and got a chocolate shake. It was like 11 in the morning. And it was so good, and I was craving another one like at 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Went back to the same McDonald's, and the same gal was in the drive-thru. And she slides the door open. She goes, "Oh, you're back again, huh?" And I thought, I might have a problem.
Right. Will you be my sponsor?
My coin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I realized, this, I better get this under control. Yeah. It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah. When the drive-through person knows you by name.
Hey,
Mark, how are you?
Good one. Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you again. So that is funny, man.
Yeah.
But there is a physiology behind that. It's not just mental weakness. Yeah. You start giving into those, specifically those processed carbs, the sugars and stuff. Yeah. If you give into those, they're going to keep calling you. It's not like you're weak. I used to think of myself as, well, I'm harder. I'm tougher than this. Yeah. I can, and you can't.
The other side of that too is the feeling you get when you do eat right. Like sometimes you'll eat something and you'll eat better things and you'll eat better things, and then it's like, God, I feel really good.
Yeah,
I want that again.
Right.
It's
just like being in shape.
Yeah.
Right? That I haven't been in shape in a long time.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Huh.
But when I was training, when I was running, there is an awareness of your body that you have when you are in good condition that is really satisfying.
Yeah.
And I don't have that same connection like I used to.
Yeah, man. Why?
Well, that's a good. Why? Why don't I go get that again? Because it's out there. It's achievable. Like you said, when I started to get into my groove, I'd start working out more. I'd start eating better. I'd have my cheat day allowance, and then I get to the point where I don't want a cheat day. I'm not taking that cheat day.
That's good.
Because that feeling is so, whatever that is, it's really intoxicating. I want that feeling.
We're going to do a segment on just supplements.
Yeah.
I think what you should do is bring in yours. I'll bring in mine.
Okay, man.
If we have enough room.
We'll have to get another table.
But I notice on days if I don't have those, I don't know if it's mental or not. But again, if I don't have like the right stuff to eat, I just feel kind of crummy. And the days I don't have some of those supplements, I feel off. And, I don't know if that's a crutch or if it's mental or there is some physical component. It'd be nice to have some scientists actually tell us what that is. But what do these two chuckleheads know? But it's stuff that works for us.
Right. And you can feel it, whether that's placebo or not. I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good way to look at it.
Something is happening. And that's another part of the travel thing. It's hard to lug all that stuff along with you when you're traveling. I bring my pharmaceuticals, I mean, I take
what does that mean?
I got my thyroid I'll take the things that have been prescribed because you really hate to not take those on a consistent basis.
Right.
But I typically don't bring all my supplements and stuff with me when I travel.
It's hard,
I mean, if you're lugging around, like fish oil tablets and vitamin D tablets and whatever else it is that that you're consuming, magnesium and all those other things, that's really a pain in the ass. So
there's a company I ran across. We'll put it in the show notes. It's called Care Of, and it's just care/of. And you go in and you design your own daily vitamin pack. These are all the things, and you go through this questionnaire. What are you looking for? What do you like? What do you don't like? And what are you feeling like? And what's your goal? And they come up with a suggested daily dosage of a variety of different supplements. And then they package them for you personally.
Wow. So
it's just this little cellophane pack, rip it open. It's got, anywhere from 5 to 10 supplements
your
in them.
daily is right there.
And it's all right there. Of course, then I add like 15 other things on top of it.
Right.
But when I travel, I know, you know what? I can just grab 3 of these packages. I'm pretty good.
At least you're having your bare minimum.
At least you're having it, yeah.
Oh,
and it's not a Flintstones.
Idea.
It's not a, no disrespect.
No.
But still, it's something that's tailored to you that isn't one of those off the shelf, well, here's a daily multivitamin. But you look at the fine print, and it's like, what are all these other things in there? And the thing I like about these guys is it's all natural stuff. There's even the capsules themselves.
So you don't select a specific.
You can. I want a fish oil. They'll say, all right, fish oil.
Okay.
But if you say, well, what I'm trying to do is lower my cholesterol, or
right. Okay.
I need a little bit more energy throughout the day, or I'm too anxious, or I'm kind of sad. And say, well, based on all of these things,
interesting.
Here's the package.
Interesting.
And yeah, I like it.
Is it affordable? I mean, is it?
Sort of.
Because when you're buying supplements, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this, I just ordered creatine. Okay. I take creatine every day.
Do you? Okay.
And I used to mix up the powder creatine, and it's, 5 grams a day has been the traditional dose for eternity. And creatine is one of the most studied supplements of all time.
Yeah.
I think it's well understood and useful for a number of different things. It's good for, it was traditionally a weightlifter thing for a long time, for bulking or something like that. But it's good for brain health. I mean, creatine is just just a component of the ATP cycle, right? I mean, it's just an energy supplementation mechanism.
Can you take it every day?
I take it every day.
Is it a pill or a powder?
It used to be powder.
Right.
And I would mix it up into protein shakes, or I would mix it up on its own in water or something. It became really a pain in the ass. And so I was watching Thomas DeLauer. He's a guy that I watch on YouTube. And he was promoting these creatine gummies. The company is Create.
Okay.
And so I ordered those, and each gummy is like 1.5 grams of creatine. So I'm taking smaller doses now. I take 3 to 4.5 a day instead of the 5.
Every day. You don't go and do it and then cycle off.
I take it every day.
And creatine, I've tried, but it really causes lots of bloating. Why is
it bothered your stomach a little bit? That's a common complaint about creatine.
Okay.
Maybe in this world, so the dosage then is 1.5 grams per gummy.
Okay.
I take 2 to 3 every day. 3 to 4.5 grams a day.
Yeah.
You could do 1.5.
Okay.
I think there's value in just adding a little bit of creatine monohydrate to your daily regimen. My wife has just started taking it. So I just went online and bought a bunch. It's on Amazon. I can get it through Amazon, but it's not cheap. And I would hate to know how much money I spend on. My wife and I both, we spend on supplements every day. I mean, it's not cheap.
Just picking a number, but say it's, $1,000 a year. Say it's $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
You break that down into a month. All right, let's say you spend $100 to $200 a month.
Yeah, probably in
to
that range.
Then $25 a week. So, roughly $5-6 a day.
You're right.
It's a latte.
Yeah.
How much is an emergency room visit?
No doubt.
So it's sort of
and
like,
if you've eliminated the cheeseburger run,
it's a good investment.
It probably is.
It probably is. I mean, I know they're expensive, but in the nature and the scheme of things, and you see somebody order, triple tall latte with 7 pumps of vanilla, and it's $8.95, and you kind of go, really? Right. I mean, I get it. The joy, and it's your daily thing. There's
a little dopamine.
It gives you what you need.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like...
But it's also killing you. Frankly. Right? I mean...
But that's interesting. I may try a smaller dosage of that, because creatine's got that bad knock, like, well, it's the jarheads who just lift, heavy weights, and, they pump.
I don't think that's... I think we're running up on our time here, man. So I was doing a lot of research for a period of time on nootropics. Brain health is interesting to me. I don't want to be just some drooling, babbling idiot, in the near future. I know that's my destiny, but not anytime in the near future. So I was doing a lot of research on that.
Yeah.
And creatine hit that list often.
Really?
Something that is useful for providing energy for your brain, which is a huge consumer of energy in your body. I mean, your brain utilizes 20 to 25% of all your body's energy. It's a huge, yes, it uses a lot of energy.
Interesting.
And so I started taking creatine again, not for the weightlifting side of things like the old days, but more as a brain health supplement, which is why the dosage is a little bit smaller. For the lifting thing, they always said about 5 grams a day, somewhere in that. And if you're, for a guy that was my weight, maybe 8 to 10 grams a day. But for brain health, they're typically talking maybe in the 3 grams a day range. So 2 gummies.
2 gummies. Spread them out, not maybe.
I can eat one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Yeah, the gummy makes it really easy to consume.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it all at once and maybe get that same gut response, that bloating feeling.
If you have some of those studies, we should put them in the notes. So
absolutely,
I think people can refer to that, because part of this is just, let's educate ourselves along the way, because Hase and Fletch, what do we know?
Yeah, we don't know much, man, but we're trying.
We're human guinea pigs.
Right.
And some of it's working.
Some of it is working, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just impressed that you could play hockey until 11 o'clock last night and be here this morning.
Yeah. Barely, but yeah.
But you're doing it. You're not, well, that's right. Yeah. Once we stop recording, we'll both be asleep, I'm sure. But I went to bed at 10:30 or 11 last night.
Yeah.
but I didn't exercise this morning.
Yeah, that's all right. It's, again, everybody finds their own stride and what works for them and what truly just brings them joy.
Yeah.
And all of that extends your life. And who doesn't want to extend their life?
Right.
In a good way.
Right. A good quality of life.
High quality of life. That's what we're about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I love it. It's good, man. You got plans for the weekend? Well, you said you were going out of town.
I'm going to St. Paul. We're going to the Frozen Four. It's the Frozen Four hockey tournament. Actually,
good for you.
Boston College and Denver are playing. Our older kids all went to BC, and so
did they really?
We're going to kind of have a mini reunion of folks up there, and,
how wonderful.
And go to the game. And we all still love hockey. My boys all played. And,
that's fantastic.
So it'll be fun. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
My wife's going to have to don't most of the way.
And it is, you're going to be asleep. And it is in
St. Paul. Yeah.
St. Paul. Fantastic.
That'll be fun. How about you?
I don't know that we have plans. I think we're doing the stuff around the house stuff, kind of that spring prep,
And your grandmother's coffee mug.
And don't you love that?
That's really nice. Yeah.
We got this down in Nebraska City.
Don't need to know. We don't actually know. Really
Is anybody in the market for grandma's coffee mug?
Look what I have. So we're going to get custom.
You're drinking out of plastic, which
Hase
is
Fletch
forbidden, man.
Coffee mugs. Is what
we
we're
should
gonna
do
have.
that.
So.
Absolutely.
Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend, and I'd love to hear about the hockey tournament.
Definitely.
That sounds good, man. Thanks, everybody. Later.